Thursday, March 28th, 2 p.m. Mountain Time, 2019. Guys, we're here at the website, MrMBB333.com. You can find it linked below the video in the description box. We're here at the Sky Phenomena Photo Gallery, and I update this every day with new photos. And I've noticed this week an increase in unusual flying objects, so I decided to put together a video of these objects. I've gotten new pictures and new video from people all over the world. Here's an example of one of the photos that I received from Greece. This was taken by REIKO. He noticed a round object flying through the sky. Here I'm zoomed in very, very closely, and you can see there is definitely something round moving through the sky. We're going to start with this slideshow here in northeast Georgia. This was taken by Wendy. This is a video, and then we're going to come back to the round object in Greece, and I've got some other ones to share also. Pay attention to the 5 o'clock position here of the sun. You see a white object right there. You're going to see it move independently of anything else in the sky. This little object right here is a lens reflection from the sunlight. This object here moves up towards the sun, and it doesn't appear to be an airplane. It's stationary, and then it kind of propels up into the clouds. I zoom in really close and we get a good look at this thing, and you still can't decide, what this thing is one way or another. I mean, it almost looks like a bird, but at that altitude, being able to see it as clear as you can, the bird would have to be 30 or 40 feet wide. So it's, in my humble opinion, too high up to be a bird. It almost looks like it's got its own energy source because it's moving up, and you'll see it kind of speed up here at the end when it dives into the clouds right there. So I don't know what to make of this. Great observation, though, by Wendy of northeast Georgia over here in the United States. Now you can see it almost looks like, I don't know if that's light flickering off of it, sunlight flickering off of it, or if those are large wings flapping. You'll see it propel right there at the end. You see it speed up. In this video clip, I adjust the color just a little bit. I did everything I could to try to pull this forward without compromising the video too much and getting overly pixelated. But there's definitely something there that seems to have its own power supply, almost like it's going against the wind. Up at those altitudes, the wind is much stronger, and that thing seemed to be going against the wind. And it went up into the cloud here. It almost acted like it landed on something. Whatever it was, I still don't know what it is or was. There it goes. Great observation by Wendy of northeast Georgia. Here we're back to the strange planes because I've gotten 2 photographs of unusual flying machines that people photographed. This was sent in by Michael. I want to say this was taken from Pennsylvania or New Jersey. I've had this one for probably 2 or 3 weeks. This is no ordinary aircraft. You can see it looks like it's made up of squares or triangles. I zoom in really close, and when I invert this into a X-ray format, you'll get a really good look at the structure of this thing, and it's got 90-degree angles all over it. Look at that thing. That is not a typical airplane by any stretch of the imagination. That's why he took the photograph. It's flying at a very high rate of speed, fairly high altitude, and you can tell that's no ordinary plane. It looks rather large. Looks like, again, it's made up of triangles and squares. Certainly doesn't look like a conventional airplane that we've all seen. I know I see airplanes out here every single day. None ever look like that. Now we're back to the round object that was observed over Greece. This photograph was sent in by REIKO. He sent me 3 different photographs. I zoom in really tight. I adjust the lighting to where you can get a good look at this thing, and it's definitely round. It's, again, like the other photograph, not a conventional airplane. I don't know if this was also some sort of maybe a experimental aircraft. I'm not so sure the other one was an experimental aircraft, but this is almost disc-shaped. And, people talk about discs all the time, but rarely do you see them in this capacity during broad daylight, but that was the case here. I'm going to zoom in really close. You can see this thing has like a network structure to it in the center. It's made up of like maybe 5 different pieces or so. Look at it right there. There's 5 and then a centerpiece. Great observation coming out of Greece. I've had this photograph for a couple days. That's why I decided to go ahead and make a video about these objects that people are seeing in the sky, because I've gotten quite a few for an average week. Normally I'll get maybe 1 or 2. This week I've gotten several. There's a good look at it right there. Look at that. Totally obvious there was something round flying through the sky that day. and this was taken this week, so not exactly sure of the date. I know it's less than a week old, or at least I've had it less than a week. Spotted high in the skies above Greece. So we see things all over the globe pretty much on a daily basis, but this week it's been busier than usual when it comes to unusual flying objects in the sky. There's another good look at it right there. Some sort of a honeycomb looking craft flying through the sky at a very high rate of speed, and that's what compelled him to take the photograph, was its unusual shape. We've all seen airplanes and helicopters in the sky. That was neither. This little slideshow I put together here was sent in by, the video was sent in by Randy, and what I've done is made a slideshow of what he observed in the sky, which is something right here in the clouds. He noticed some sort of a disc kind of floating in the clouds or just sitting there. So he took a photograph of it. And I take and adjust the color and lighting to get a better look at this thing, and that's what I came up with. I adjusted many different times, and I also noticed some other ones in the photograph, or the little video he sent in as well. I don't know if those are, this one doesn't appear to be a lens artifact. It's over here in the clouds, kind of low compared to the other ones that I'm going to show you in this video. This one looks like it could be something. The other ones, I don't know. They might be lens reflections. And then again, this one could be a lens reflection. We're not sure what this is. But I do know this. This was sent in by Randy. He did say that he saw this in the sky. So this one, yes, he saw. The other ones, I don't know. I just happened to notice them up here near the sun. And anytime you're photographing the sun, this is prone to happen. You're going to have lens flares, some sort of reflections, glare in your photograph or video. Happens almost every single time you photograph the sun, whether it's on purpose or by accident. You'll get some sort of a lens flare. So I don't know if that's what these quite possibly may be. The thing down low in front of the clouds, that looks like a stationary round object for sure. These look like they're transparent. Maybe you wouldn't see them if it wasn't for the sunlight. Maybe that's what they are. You know, I'm optimistic about all these things. I've seen so many photographs of different things in the sky, but right there's that object he said that he saw first. These I happen to see later on in the video. So those very well could be lens reflections. Not 100% sure on any of it, to be quite honest with you. All I know is very interesting when you see things like this in broad daylight. So good observation, Randy. Thanks for sharing. I've also got some unique clouds. This was sent in yesterday or the day before. I think I received this on Instagram. And yeah, it's dated March 2019. Of some unusual clouds. And you'll see also, as he points out over here to the left, look at that. A perfectly round circle in a cloud. He's describing how that one's shaped like a craft. The one over on the left, not that one. We'll go back. I'll try to stop it. Now here I adjust the color just a little bit to try to get a better look at these unique clouds that he noticed. The one on the far left, though, it's almost got like a round circular feature right in the middle of the cloud. It's just highly unusual. And that one there was also quite unique as well. So good observation. They are very unique indeed. I probably would have taken a video or a couple of pictures myself. Here I've inverted the video into a negative format, and there's that round object in the middle of that cloud there. That's the one that captivated me the most, right there, over there at the 9 o'clock position, right there. Almost looks like the one we saw from Randy's video. A round object sitting in front of the clouds. And I've received several this week of unusual flying machines. So this week's kind of been an exception to the rule, if you will. This is a video I took last night myself of the sun setting around 6:45 p.m. This is unedited. That's just how the camera, well, actually, when I looked at it, it was a glowing orange yellow, and the camera perceived it a little darker than what it actually was. But overall, it was very impressive. That's why I took this little video clip. It was a very bright orange, bright yellow, almost looked fluorescent. And this was at 6:45 p.m. last night. Also got some other photographs to share. This was sent in by Brianna from Brunswick, Georgia. Called this one the Phoenix Rising. It looks like a big bird standing alone or flying alone all by itself over here high in the sky of Brunswick, Georgia. And that other video that I shared with you guys was from Northeast Georgia. This photograph here was sent in by Thomas, and you can see a very vivid triangle right in the middle of the sky. Look at that. Perfect triangle. We've been seeing a lot of these lately all over the globe. In fact, I've got another example sent in by Corey from Virginia. Perfect square in the sky. If you took off this part here, you'd have another triangle in the sky. So these things are being seen quite often. I bet you I've got photographs from almost all 50 states from people over here in the United States that have observed these things, and I've seen them myself. And I don't know if quite possibly over here to the right, if that's a triangle or part of a triangle. It's difficult to tell because it's not all in the photograph. That one there, it's unmistakable. At least it's a perfect square. This photograph was sent in by Patrick from Apple Valley, California, of a purple sky. And something down here, I'll zoom in real close so you can get a better look at it. Look at that. Greenish tint to the top of the sun. I've seen that before, but much smaller. Those are some very unique purple clouds. Thank you, Patrick, from Apple Valley, California. Thanks for watching. Have a super day and be safe out there.